Okay, so we are live streaming. Oh, hello, Trishala. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Welcome to your first Environmental Sustainability Committee meeting. Donna, I see, is joining us. How this works is we're just waiting for everybody to show up. Afternoon, Donna. Can you hear me all right?
Thank you.
Can you hear me, Donna?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Very good. So we are live on YouTube, and I am going to just mute myself and wait until everybody shows up because I'm just pulling up some documents in the queue here. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
everyone can sit tight and we'll get started in a few minutes. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're just going to wait a few minutes here or a minute or two more, but I think we have quorum. One, two, three, four, five. Just waiting another minute for Counselor Gardy, and then we'll get started. Whenever you're ready, Donna, we do have quorum.
All right, we're ready to go.
We are.
Okay, so let's call the meeting to order. It's 4:02 p.m. This is the meeting of the City of Sault Ste. Marie's Environmental Sustainability Committee. I acknowledge with respect that we are in Robinson Huron Treaty territory and that the land in which we are gathered is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and is known as Bawatang. Bawatang is the home of Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nation, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Métis Council. Moving on to agenda item number 3. I'm looking for a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes of our last meeting, which took place in July 15th of 2025. And Emily, if you can help, I know Mark was there. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
And Andre was there. Okay, thank you.
They were, yep.
I just can't see that at the same time as I'm looking at my screen. All right.
Yep.
With that, any additions, deletions, changes to those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of those minutes? That is carried. Thank you. Anyone today with a declaration of pecuniary interest on the items on our agenda? Seeing none, moving on to adoption of our agenda today. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the adoption of today's agenda? Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Andre. Any changes to the agenda as it's been posted? Seeing none, all in favor of approval of today's agenda? That is carried. Thank you very much. Okay, item 6 on the agenda is the composition of our committee, Environmental Sustainability Committee. And Emily, I'm going to ask you to just take us through. There's a couple of changes there.
Yep. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Oop. Here we go. You can still see it? Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Okay, so a couple of updates for the composition of the Environmental Sustainability Committee. Would just like to advise the group that Dr. Andrew Judge is no longer on the committee. Wanted to take a moment to say thank you to Andrew for his service to the Environmental Sustainability Committee and wish him all the best on his future endeavors. He's moved to Thunder Bay. I'm also pleased to welcome Trishala Palmer to the Environmental Sustainability Committee. The city recently, the clerk's department did a call out for all the boards and committees, and Trishala has been appointed to ours. Trishala is joining us today, and not to put you on the spot, but I was wondering if you would mind introducing yourself to the committee, perhaps speaking to a little bit of your background. We're thrilled to be able to work with you, Trishala.
Hi, a very good evening to one and all present over here. I'm really excited to join the committee, and my name is Trishala Parmar. Talking about my educational background, I have done my master's in environmental sciences, and I hold around 4 to 5 years of work experience in the same field. Back in India, I was working with S&P Global as ESG research analyst, environment, social, and governance. And my work background has been into EHS and wastewater monitoring, as well as in research field of bioindicators, the natural indicators of environmental pollution. That is a paper which I published online. Apart from that, I am really into photography. I love doing that, and I'm more into nature, and that is something I am really interested in. Apart from that, environment and sustainability has been a part of my life since the very beginning of my school and college. So now, since I'm here in Canada, I'm really happy that I have been appointed to the committee, and I am being a part of the committee with such eminent people who have been doing great work around. And yeah, I'm in Canada since 2023 now, and I came here to do further studies in business and supply chain management. And that's how I'm in Sioux from the past 2.5 years. And Sioux has been a great community. Everyone is really welcoming, and it's been a great time being in Sault Ste. Marie. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the committee, and I hope to give my best, and wherever I could, I would like to be present. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Trishala. Donna, anything you want to add or?
No, welcome. Welcome, Trishala. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And hopefully we'll make an effort next time for sure. I think our next meeting is in November, and we'll be in person, and we'll meet you in person. And we appreciate everything you're going to bring to this committee from your background, and we'll get some things done. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Welcome, Trishala. And so we do have another vacancy on our committee still. So the city clerk's department will be reposting that. There'll probably be a press release that goes out. So feel free to share that with your networks, or if anyone on the committee knows of others who might be interested, feel free to send them my way, and I'll post that to the city clerk's department. Any questions about these updates? That's pretty much it on my end, Donna, for this item.
Anybody with a question? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. Okay, so we are moving on to the Green Initiative Fund application review. We have 3 projects that we are reviewing today. And we're going to go through them. I'm saying this as much for everybody else's benefit as mine, which is we're going to go through each project separately. We're going to take any questions and any comments that anyone has on them. We're going to review the scoring that we all contributed, or many of us contributed to, in terms of where everybody's feeling about awarding these projects. And then we'll see where we get to in terms of what may or may not be approved, etc. Make sense, Emily?
Yep, sure does.
All right.
Okay,
fantastic.
so I have a summary page that I'm going to just share here. Just bear with me. Okay. Is that big enough for everyone to see? I'm seeing some nods. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yep.
Okay, so just a summary, we are in the third of 4 intakes for the Green Initiatives Fund. Total, so this is our Q3 intake, and our next and final intake will close at the end of October. So the 3 asks that we've received equate to 20,000 and change. We have currently about $30,000 left in the Green Initiatives Fund in our 2025 budget. If these projects are approved, we'll have about 4,800 left remaining in the fund for the rest of the year. Trishala, for your benefit, any funds left in the Green Initiatives Fund at the end of the year not allocated to projects go towards tree planting on city lands in the following year. So we don't operate with a surplus. They just go towards trees. As a reminder, the fund is designed to be on a first come, first served basis. So the following summarizes the scores from the committee members and is sorted from highest to lowest. So of the 3 applications, the application from the Helping Hands group for their circular economy e-commerce project scored the highest, a 4.2 for sustainability, 4 for community impact, 3.7 for financial analysis, and 4 for project innovation and collaboration. They received an overall percentage score of 79% and 3.96. Second highest project was the Sault Ste. Marie Region Conservation Authority Environmental Monitoring Project, which scored 4.3 for environmental sustainability, 3.8 for community impact, 3.5 for financial analysis, and 4 for project innovation, with an average score of 78% or 3.74. And in third place was the LED lighting phase 2 project from the Arch Hospice for an environmental sustainability score of 3.3, 2.5 for community impact, 3.7 for financial analysis, and 2 for innovation with an overall summary score of 58% or 2.88. So I'm going to go through each project now in more detail, share comments and questions from committee members, and a bit of a summary. So Helping Hands have asked for $10,778.58. They are seeking to develop a secure e-commerce platform to promote a circular economy by facilitating the donation and purchase of gently used items. This initiative will reduce landfill waste, lower carbon emissions, provide affordable goods to residents. It will also engage youth volunteers to gain experience in e-commerce and sustainability. They anticipate to launch the platform in February of 2026 with at least 100 products listed and local pickup model for fulfillment. It aims to be financially self-sustaining through online sales with long-term environmental impacts and community benefits. Their key phases including the planning, the launch, and ongoing operations. Some of the comments from the ESC members: what a great idea. This is duplicative of programs and similar ideas already running. The majority of the costs are going to project management fees and consultants. I don't see how this would be a wise use of funds. The project is based on the concept of a circular economy, which provides an eco-friendly and well-managed cycle for clothes and goods to be reused and repurposed. Maybe. I like the idea, but with two cautions. One, opening these thrift stores to online platforms can encourage outreach to the wrong audience, i.e. rethrifters or profit seekers, rather than the most needy. And two, although I would like the community to be far less dependent on Facebook, I feel like many will not see how this differs from Facebook Marketplace and will find it less convenient and with less market reach. It isn't clear how this will stand out in comparison to the existing well-used platform. We received 2 questions, I believe, for this one. No, 1. I'd like more information on how Helping Hands intend to operate and maintain this web presence in the long term. It's a lot of upfront money to give as a grant to something without any details or assurance for long-term viability. So this was an email response to the committee from Helping Hands. The key to the project's long-term success is that the Shopify platform is not a separate online project. It's a complete replacement of our operational system, which includes our current point of sale system. Operationally, this means our traditional cash register will be replaced by a modern tablet-based point of sale at our checkout counter, powered by Shopify's point of sale apps. This tablet will be used to process every in-store sale. In the very same system, our team will use to manage online orders for local pickup, add new inventory, to our unified backend, manage both in-store and online inventory and more, create a single unified system for all our inventory and transactions. Its daily use is therefore not optional, but structurally essential to our core retail operations. This is a one-time investment in a foundational infrastructure that will underpin every transaction moving forward. So that is the response for Helping Hands. Those are the comments and questions I've received. Would you like me to move to the next one, or do we want to discuss this in more detail, Donna?
I'd rather have the discussion while we're on the item, and then we'll move
Sure.
on to the next one. I feel like it stays a little more organized.
Yep.
Emily, I have a question, just for clarification before I ask for anyone else who wants to comment here. In the score summary, it shows under community impact and number 4 project innovation, the average score of 1 in both those cases. And I don't believe that's the same as what was up above. It's a really,
You're right.
it's a small thing, but,
Yep.
okay. So
Updated.
that, thank you. Okay. Any further, how's everybody feeling about this? I see some very, this is the first time I'm seeing these comments, just like for you. So I am seeing that we're in a couple of different places on this. Some people are very positive about it. Other people are a little bit more cautious or not positive about it. It did score, well, but who wants to, Andre, you just unmiked yourself, so I'm guessing you might want to say something there.
Sure. Can you I just a question. Helping Hands, just I'm sure I've read it. Are they're currently have a location, correct? And they've been in business for a certain amount of time, and they're not for profit. Can you kind of review that so that we're all understand who this organization is? Because some of the comments are kind of in a way replacing Facebook, but to me, Facebook is for individuals. It's not really helping. It's not a community group that helps others. So maybe somebody can clarify that for us.
Sure. So I'm just looking at their application here, the basic purpose of the organization. So it reads, Helping Hands is a registered charity thrift store and community resource in Sault Ste. Marie that caters to the whole community. They accept donations of used goods in usable and working condition. Their dual mandate is the concurrent alleviation of poverty and the diversion of consumer goods from the municipal waste stream. And they execute this by intercepting, processing, and recirculating donated items, thereby maximizing their life cycle and providing essential goods to vulnerable populations at minimal costs.
And are you like in other organizations? I'm thinking of there's a few others that have a similar. Like I just want to see where they stand in with regards to things like even Value Village recycles goods. Facebook is the marketplace, but I believe Vincent Place, other in town are doing something similar. How is this different at like Habitat for Humanity? If Helping Hands been around for a while, but I agree, it's a lot of money. But I love the idea. I think it's a fantastic. We need to do this more. That's no dispute about that. But I just want to understand. They're not for profit. That's very important, I believe. And how some of the criticisms that were made is are they valid, or is this me? Are we looking into this?
I'm on their website. I don't know when they were founded. But certainly can circle back with the group and follow up on some of those details about, what sets them apart from other organizations. I don't know offhand.
Can I jump in here?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Because I made the Facebook comment, so I'll expand on what I mean there, Andre. I understand what Helping Hands does, and they have a very distinct role from Facebook. There's no doubt about that. But what's being proposed here is an online platform to resell used items, which is what Facebook Marketplace is as well. So I didn't see a huge, it wasn't clear to me what the obvious difference would be there in terms of the people looking to purchase items from an online platform hosted by Helping Hands versus just putting things on Facebook Marketplace. Why would somebody search out Helping Hands? And then secondarily, when you tend to put these things onto online platforms, it does, is that actually the way to get goods into the hands of needy people, or is it opening it up to people that are just reselling? Those were my two concerns.
Andre, does that help you with
yes, I think just one distinction. I think when people, like for me, if I have an item, I want to put it on Facebook, I make the money. I actually don't want to make the money. I want to donate it to somebody, and I want to give it to an organization. So right now that happens all the time. And I either Habitat for Humanity is a common one for me because I'm familiar with them. Harvest Algoma handles the food part. I know that Vincent Place accepts soft goods, as we call them. So and not for profit with St. Vincent Place, you understand where the profits are going. With Helping Hands, it wasn't really clear what they do with the money they make. That would be maybe something that Emily could ask them, and maybe have some kind of financial analysis to understand, how long they've been in existence and how much money they make and where does that money flow to. So before we take taxpayer dollars into an organization like this, I think it's important to understand. I mean, maybe I missed it in reviewing the report, but I believe that's maybe along with what Erica's saying. But I like the idea, though. It's good to do that. It's 100% good. I just need clarification on who these people are.
Okay, thanks, Andre. Mark, it looks like you want to jump in here.
Yeah, yeah. So I did look into them, just who they were and you know what they offered and such. And I made the comment, the second one there about duplicative of other things that are currently being offered. Sorry, the dogs have decided to barge into the office. So I was just, my comment to this was it's you know it's very similar to what is already out there. It's very similar to a lot of things that are going on already in the community that are doing very similar things. I am not opposed to what they're doing. My comments and concerns is that when you look at the breakdown of the budget, there's a significant amount of money going towards consultants and project management, which I had more of an issue with than say what the goal of the program was. If they want to start an online platform, that's great for them. But I think if we put money towards it, it would be towards the tangible things, the hard stuff of the Shopify account or things like that. And yet that is such a small percentage of the actual budget ask. And that's where my concern was, or that's why I didn't agree with funding it, was just because of where the money was being allocated. And I would agree with Eric's point about if you're reselling this stuff, you're going on Facebook Marketplace, and is that really if you want to get at-risk people, are they really using Facebook Marketplace for these types of things? A lot of them, and maybe I'm making assumptions here, but they're more than likely to be going into the store, into the retail location to pick to get this stuff. So that's where I was. That's where I had issues with it, only because it was just seemed to be we already have things like this in place.
Thanks, Mark. Trishala, did you have anything you want to contribute here right now?
For me, I had made this comment about it is a really nice way of using and repurposing, considering it's an organization based in Sault Ste. Marie, and there are other places over here which does this, I think. But then with Helping Hands, if they start something like this, it will be a different platform for the people of Sault Ste. Marie to reach out and do some work which can be directly benefited to the organization. I believe if they are going to use the same money for doing the work around the community around in Sault Ste. Marie. So basically, if they are collecting funds through this platform and again giving it back to the community, then it's a great idea to give the funds to them, because this is something which is not there in Sault Ste. Marie. And if Helping Hand starts this, then it will be a little bit of different innovation which the organization is doing in terms of being a non-for-profit and trying to advance in the field of non-for-profit and also giving it back to the community. So this was my whole idea of reusing and repurposing the goods and coming back to the cycle which I used in my comment. Yeah.
Thanks, Trishala. Andre, did you have something you want to add right now?
Sorry, no, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So
Donna, it's Corey. Can I just chime in real quick?
Where'd you come from? I didn't realize you were here. Thank you.
Sorry, Donna. Yeah, I've been here for about 10 minutes.
I can't see you on my phone.
You can't see me. Oh, sorry.
I can now.
Okay, that's unfortunate for you. So I agree. Like I agree with kind of where Mark was coming from. I just as I look at this, and I want to be corrected if I'm way off base here, but I see the crux of this as not necessarily the circular economy piece, but one to allow for them to be a little bit more to generate more revenue, right? That's how I see it, to the betterment of the organization, which in turn, I guess, will enhance their efforts. But as I see it, I'm not I wouldn't support the ask because so much of it seems to be directed to not precisely kind of our mandate, but that's just my opinion. Thanks.
Thank you, Corey. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a couple of things, which is one, I was wondering, and I don't know if I wrote this in my comments when I did the review of the applications, but I know I was thinking about it, was there some sort of comparison or measurement that they could refer to that would be an example of, because I would think that if this is really going to align with our mandate, then it's on the reducing landfill waste side. And so, where is the documentation, or where is, I didn't see anything in the application. Correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, but where was there something that's saying, in this example or in this type of a place in a community or whatever, they documented that X, Y, and Z was saved from going to the landfill? That number one. And then number two, I'm a little concerned, I guess, that these funds are while I completely appreciate what they're trying to do, and I think we all see the value in the work that is being done here, but I think there's a huge alignment to a whole new point of sale system in the first place. So I'm just struggling with how much of these funds are going to help put a new point of sale system in place, which has nothing to do with environmental sustainability. It has to do with running a good business, absolutely. And how much of it then, because that new point of sale system is in place, then that allows for this online sale of things. And then, so just sharing those couple of things. So, any other comments on this or questions? Seeing none. All right. So we'll just stop this one there with those thoughts, and let's move on to the is the next one, the Conservation Authority request.
Okay. So this came in from the Sault Ste. Marie Conservation Authority for their environmental monitoring project. They're looking for $11,000, $225.24. Scope is this project aims to enhance environmental monitoring and climate resilience across the Algoma region by deploying passive monitoring technologies, so trail cameras, acoustic sensors, water quality sounds, to collect real-time ecological data. It will support flood forecasting, biodiversity research, including species at risk, and a community-based stewardship through partnerships with Indigenous communities, academic institutions, and local organizations. There were reference letters, or letters of support rather, that were provided within the application. The initial emphasis, hands-on learning, data sharing, and integration of traditional ecological knowledge, TEK, which also addresses potential risks like limited coverage, equipment security, and long-term sustainability. And a phased implementation approach and multi-platform communication strategy will help ensure its visibility, transparency, and long-term impact. So some of the comments received from the committee on this one, no funding recommended. I feel like this is too much of a core function of the CA to be funded through the Green Initiatives Fund. I'm also nervous about full deployment relying on subsequent Green Initiative Funds awards. Great project. The only concern is that some of the equipment comes from the US. Is there a Canadian source? I addressed that shortly because I did reach out to them on that. And I guess I'll speak to, I do go into more detail about their breakdown because there were some questions received. So they've put in this ask, it's my understanding, after consultation with the applicant. And, whatever they can get, they'll get, and they will be looking to other sources as they can, as other funding becomes available. Another comment was very thorough application. Another one, it's a good idea. My concern is to fund the project over the next couple of years without sustainable other avenues. If we can't fund it, what happens to the project? Again, they plan to apply for other sources. It's the nature of being a nonprofit. Projects well explained, it would be helpful for the community and the environment by leveraging modern monitoring technology, shared knowledge, and community engagement. They'll establish a strong environmental monitoring framework that protects people and ecosystems, supports evidence-based conservation and policymaking, and builds partnerships across sectors. This comment elaborated that it creates educational pathways for the next generation of environmentalists, natural resource researchers, and students. And then another comment, no funding recommended. I feel like this is too much of a core function of the CA to be funded through the GIF. I'm also nervous about full deployment relying on subsequent GIF awards. So some questions. The budget's asking for approximately 11K, but it shows only 1,500 for this application. Can you confirm the budget request? The answer was all the costs in the table are for 2025 only. Future applications will show items that are showing as non-applicable. Future applications will be requesting funds to increase the number of monitoring systems and camera traps. To their question about is there a Canadian source, I'm just going to leave this up here for a few moments. The Conservation Authority has done some due diligence about the wildlife acoustics. It's an American company with a reseller in Thunder Bay. They've done their due diligence. The camera traps are made in China. Canadians solutions locally did not get back to them, and only Canadian resellers are available for the equipment. Hoskin is the official distributor for the weather station in Canada. Quote was provided. And the other for future applications will come from Canada for Solence Canada Limited. So I will leave it at that and open it up for comments and questions.
Thank you, Emily. Just to note, Councillor Gardy has stepped away as he hadn't made it quite to the beginning of the meeting. He has declared
That's right.
A conflict, Emily, as he's on the board of directors
Okay.
of the
Great.
of the Conservation Authority. So that's why he's not participating in this discussion. So a number of comments here. Emily, I think small thing, but the first comment and the last comment, I think they're repeated. I think it's
Okay.
two separate. I think it's the same comment twice. Is that right? Like it's not two people didn't say exactly the same thing.
Correct. That was
Okay.
probably just double copy on my
Okay,
part.
no problem. So comments, questions, now that we've seen the total scoring and what people had to say about it. Anybody want to contribute anything new or reiterate their point?
I will reiterate my point because I'm the one with probably the most negative point there, which is that I feel like it's too much of a core function of the Conservation Authority. And that comes from the fact that basically it's presented as supporting flood forecasting, biodiversity monitoring, and community-based stewardship, which I think is basically what the CA does. So to me, this feels like we're paying them to do what they're supposed to be doing. And then in the budget table, it's basically just monitoring equipment. And again, a lot of it is flood forecast monitoring equipment, which to me, again, is like a core function of the CA. So it just feels weird to be coming to this fund for that money, in my opinion.
Thanks, Eric. Anyone else? Right now?
Yep.
Mark?
So, and this is maybe not my area, and maybe it's a little bit more unfamiliar with from my standpoint. But I looked at it in terms of, say, if we take this application and look what it's applying for, and say the first one, where I would say this is a bit more tangible. You're funding equipment that you cannot get, you cannot volunteer for. or you use in-kind hours for type of thing. So we're funding materials and things like that for people that are going to use them. So you're not, necessarily funding consultants or things like that. It's more of, here's the physical equipment that, maybe for whatever reason we don't know, or maybe we could go back and ask them is, why isn't this coming out of their budget type of scenario? And, why are they coming to us and asking for this specifically for us? But, and that's my opinion where, my comment that I thought it was a good fit and a good project to fund. But maybe I just don't know enough about their funding or things like that for sure. So.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else with a comment or a question? From my perspective, I was on the Conservation Authority board a number of years ago now, and I know that at that time, and this just speaks to my experience, and I don't know about the current situation, but back at that time, I know that there was a significant reduction of funding for conservation authorities in general in Ontario. I believe it was, I'm not going to remember exactly. I think there was a political basis to it, and their budgets were cut significantly. And these are valid questions to be asking about their core purpose, but and what they're there to do. But I know that they've really, struggled. I believe from what I recall from back in 2019, 18, something like that, that they're, they were having to deal with significant reductions in funding, significant 25 or 30% or something like that, if my memory is serving me correctly at this moment. But I also think from my perspective, the question that some of us are asking here, or some people are asking here, which is about what happens next. So if it sounds like from what we read and what Emily explained to us that the project is sustainable with the equipment that they have, but I know there's some questions in there about how it's going to be monitored, or the addition of additional equipment, and what happens if we don't, if we were to award this right now, then what happens next? Because it appeared to me in the wording, I think it very clearly said in the wording of the application, something about the expectation was, it didn't say we are going to apply to the Green Initiatives Fund for the next amount of funds in 2026. It said I'm paraphrasing, we expect to get, or we expect this to fund it in a subsequent year. So just careful about that. Okay, anything further here, Emily?
I'd just like to clarify a couple of things. Number one, they're specifically asking, as was clarified in the question, for this round of funding only. Okay, my understanding based on multiple back and forth with the Conservation Authority about this project, that it's modular, so they can build on it. If it has to stay more small scale with this phase, that's fine. But they've opened the door for more opportunities to grow it. Building on what Donna said, that is correct. Conservation authorities have had quite a pullback of funding over the past few years, and they are currently under the Ontario government hiring freeze of agencies as well. Certainly happy to go back to the Conservation Authority to get more insights on their situation, but believe that they would be applying for something. They wouldn't be applying for something if they had the means to do it.
Thanks, Emily. Trishella, did I see you maybe looking to add something here?
I was just going through the project, and the only thing which I found interesting was that all the passive monitoring equipments that they wanted and the motion activated ones, they were not only for one of the species. They're trying to cover multiple species in the lands. Also, all of them, there was Sonobat for bats, and also there were for the wildlife. So there are different species that they are trying to cover over here, and also about the flood monitoring which they wanted to do. I believe that in 2025 itself, in Gulik River around, there was a flood-like situation, and we had experienced it. That is what I searched while I was going through the project, just to know that are we experiencing flood-like situations in Sault Ste. Marie. So I believe that, and also about the equipments that they had asked for, like for the monitoring infrastructure, it is very clearly mentioned that where they're going to use the cameras and the acoustic monitors, as well as where they will install the water quality sonders. So everything has been really clearly mentioned over there in order to give them the funding, because as we're talking about that they haven't been receiving the funding, this will be a very this will be helpful to them in order to get a lot of understanding about the biodiversity in and around the Sault Ste. Marie region, because we already have the bears over here, and I'm sure there are so many other species which should be recognized. And since we have such a good biodiversity all around in Sault Ste. Marie, so that was my say for it.
Okay, thank you. Andre?
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like this is more of a philosophical, political situation, because here we have a provincial government who's funding an organization that should be better funded, and we all know it. And now we have municipal taxpayers that have to give them funds, which they don't have. The merit of the project, I don't think, is in question here. It's just the philosophy of where this money is coming from municipal taxpayers versus the provincial government. So, yes, I'm. It's sad that the community is saying this is important to the community, whether the province cares or not. And I think we have the money, and I believe it is well used, whether it comes from the province or from the local community. It's the local community really that is going to benefit from it, because this is research that is right here in our backyard about our species, about our environment, which I see every day because I'm in the forest. But I mean, unless you document it, it's unfortunate that the province has let the ball drop here. But I think the community needs to show some support that we care, and we need to put this money for it.
Thanks, Andre. Okay, if there's nothing further, I don't think I'm missing anybody now. Am I missing? No. All right. We'll move on to the last application, which is from Arch, and I'm hoping Councillor Gardy will come back.
Okay. Do you want me to send a quick email to
I'm
hop
back.
back on? Oh, you are.
He's there.
Okay, great. Super. Okay. So last application is from Arch Hospice. They were funded earlier this year for the first phase of an LED lighting project. They're looking for $3,250. Most of the lighting in their facility is still relying on fluorescent bulbs. So this is the second phase of replacing outdated fixtures with energy efficient LEDs, reducing the energy use, and addressing inconveniently placed light switches. They're a 24/7 facility, so this will enhance their energy efficiency as well as their sustainability. Some of the comments received from the committee: a great organization, scored low for community impact. Comment was disappointed in the post-grant report, should include actual data for sustainable impact. LED conversions are always a good project. The project supports the city's sustainability goal and is well explained, and funding recommended.
Okay. Further comments, questions from anyone? Okay. So, so we have enough. So we'll do it this way, because we don't have a request for more funds than what we have. So we can take these now, and I'm going to go backwards. I'm not going to go backwards. I'm going to go from where we just were, and let's see how people are feeling about supporting these projects and the funding of these projects, either fully or partially or whatever. So let's deal with the one we're on right now, the Arch Hospice. It would appear to me that while it didn't score really high, in terms of, Emily, can you scroll down for me, please, just so I can see the score summary? While it didn't score particularly high, the community, as is noted here, the community impact is not great, but it certainly has an impact on the hospice itself and its expenses. So is anyone willing to suggest we fund this either fully or partially? And let's see what kind of support exists here by all of us for this project. Andre?
Quick question. Is this the second time they've applied for the funds, or is this?
That's correct, right, Emily? They got funds earlier this year, and they've installed what they said they were going to do, correct?
They have, and just to clarify, just because we do have a newcomer here, Trishala, applicants per our current terms of reference, which are going to be refreshed, are allowed to apply in 1 year more than once, providing they submit their post-grant report, of which they have. And just to clarify on what Donna was saying earlier, we've got like 3 options when it comes to these projects. We can either fund them in full, not fund them at all, or fund a portion or fraction of them. So it's not like black and white. There's gray area. Anyway, just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. All right, so still looking to see, is anybody willing to suggest that we fund this either partially or fully? Mark?
Sorry. I thought we would fund it, in my opinion.
Okay. Anyone, how's everyone else feeling?
I'm good with it. It's Corey.
Thank you, Corey. I'm seeing Eric nodding if I'm seeing properly. Andre, your thoughts? Trishala, your thoughts?
Basically, it's I don't recall what we gave them last time. And did we give them partial funding? Do you remember, Emily?
Let me pull out. I think we gave yeah, I don't think we gave it all. Give me a second here. I just want to double check.
Yeah. I mean, we have the money too. It's like, so it's either trees or light bulbs, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So last time around, they asked for 16,000 and we only gave them
5?
Sorry, I just need to pull it. Yeah, about 5,900.
Okay. Okay, so here they're asking for $3,250. The quote was there for what they were looking to replace. So Mark is in favor, Eric is in favor. Is anyone else want to state? I'm sorry. So is Corey. Trishala, do you have an opinion here?
Yeah, I'm in favor.
Okay. Okay. So that carries. I am also in favor, just for clarity. And Andre, do you want to say one way or another? You're okay. All right. So we will have to go back and do the motions to approve, but let's move on now. We'll go back up to number 2, which is the Conservation Authority item. So some concern here about where this is going to go. How's everybody feeling about no funding, partial funding, full funding? Who would like to, I'm getting the feeling it's a bit lukewarm there. Andre?
I vote for full funding.
Thank you.
I will
Anyone
second
else?
that.
Corey's left again. Thank you, Corey. Mark?
I just said I will second full funding.
Okay.
I still struggle. I struggle with this one still. I understand that there's a funding problem for the Conservation Authority. I'm just worried about setting a precedent here. We've had discussions in the past about, you know, not funding things that we thought should be that should be funded through different means. And maybe others don't agree with me here on that, but that's fine. But also this one also carries an expectation of additional funding. So we're setting a precedent here of using this fund for something that is, I don't know, in my opinion, is still a core function. And I agree that we don't want to lose that core function. So this is why I struggle with this. I want to support it, but it just feels like the wrong way to support it. And
Okay.
it is, like using our fund is the wrong way to support it. And the equipment they're asking for, like, like water level loggers and stuff, this, I don't know. Maybe it's not outlined well enough. Is this building off of infrastructure they have, or are we just keeping them afloat? Because a lot of this stuff is like, this is core stuff you need for flood forecasting. So does this mean they're not flood forecasting without it? Are they expanding their capabilities? It kind of sounded like both. So I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. I struggle a bit with this one still.
Okay. Emily, do you have any insight on that in terms of, I'm trying to remember what I read, in terms of, is this enhancing their ability to be able to flood forecast, or is it completely their ability? I know they do flood. I mean, I only know that because of, what you see in the media where they will say, be careful, watch what's happening. But do you have any insight on that?
I just want to pull up their application here.
From the application, it sounds like it's expanding, but it's just like in some sections they talk about expanding monitoring networks.
Yeah.
But it's just not clear to me, I guess, where we're expanding it. What are we gaining? Are we actually just upgrading equipment?
So it says in the application verbatim, these tools will enhance the SSM RCA's ability to track biodiversity, assess watershed health, and improve flood forecasting. So I think the keywords to focus on are enhance and improve what they're already doing.
Okay, thank you. Trishala, did you want to weigh in here? How do you feel about this? Are you willing to fund this fully, partially, or not at all?
Fully, because I believe that it holds a lot of value, and already what they're doing, if they are just trying to enhance it, and that is how I feel that after going through the whole application, I was able to find a lot of value in a lot of other their structures which they are trying to upgrade and trying to bring in more better data analysis and proper flood forecasting for us in the near future. So I believe I will go for full funding for this one.
Thank you. All right, so I hear the hesitation. I'm comfortable with fully funding this, therefore we are in favor. Councillor Gardy has stepped away. We are in favor, not unanimous, but we are in favor of full funding for this application. Moving up to the first one, which is Helping Hands. Okay, what are we thinking? We've gone through, there seems to be, there is concern about the numerous things that we discussed earlier. Could I get some sense of where people are at in terms of their comfort level with funding this at all, or funding it partially, or is anyone in the we should not fund this at all ballpark? No one is in the we should not fund. Am I?
Should we can we get more information from this company before? Can we delay this decision until we
Yes.
get a bit more information about their their history?
Some of the things that were
Yeah.
discussed earlier, like the circular economy, like is this replacing their point of sale system? Emily would have documented the questions that everyone had asked earlier. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm not in support of funding this as it currently sits. If they were asking for point of sale systems, or they are asking for some of the budget to do the Shopify accounts and things like that. So if they were asking for those things specifically, in my opinion, you know, that would go towards, you know, funding it. I would have no issues with that. It's just, when you look at the budget breakdown, you know, there's $9,000 out of the 10,778 dollars spent on consultants. And, you know, what real value are we getting from that? What, you know, how is that being applied or put towards this being something that, to be totally fair, is not new? You know, it's like it was said, it's, you know, you can go to Facebook and do the same thing. You can go on the, there's other websites you can go on to do these exact same things. So it's just a lot of money spent on consultants to tell us something, you know, that's not new. It's not developing anything new. So that's in my opinion where I have an issue with it and why I wouldn't support it is for those reasons more so than the concept itself. I have no issues with it. Where the money is being allocated is what I have an issue with.
Okay, thanks, Mark. So Andre's looking for more information. Mark is not in favor of supporting this at this time, for the reasons that he explained. Councillor Gardy, do you have a thought on this here? Where are you at?
I'm leaning with Andre, I think, on this in terms of a little bit more information.
Thank you. Eric?
To be honest, I see this as very similar to the Conservation Authority. I see this as the basic infrastructure to bring the function of the organization up to probably where they want it to be or where it should be. And to me, that's how I saw the infrastructure for the Conservation Authority project as well falling. So to me, I don't see it as a high priority for the Green Initiatives Fund.
Okay, thanks, Eric. So we don't have the support, Trishala, no matter what you or I think, we don't. But I would very much like more information. I'm on the side of others, but I just think it's good for, if anybody happens to be listening to what we're saying, it's good for us to be open about how we feel about things. Did you want to add anything there, Trishala?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, dear. All right. So then going here to the motions that are written in front of me. So we're going to go to the Conservation Authority project first. So I'm looking for a mover and a seconder to put this motion on the floor. Someone to move into second. I can't see if anybody is.
What's the motion? It's full funding?
Yes, yes. I need the mover and the seconder first before I read the motion. So Andre is to move and I need a seconder, please. Trishala, thank you. All right. So be it resolved that the Environmental Sustainability Committee supports the request for funding from the CDF Green Initiatives Program, Community Development Fund, Green Initiatives Program for the Sault Ste. Marie Regional Conservation Authority Environmental Monitoring Project and recommends that Council approve the full funding $11,225.24. All in favor? That is carried. And moving on to number 2, looking for a mover and a seconder on the arch lighting project. So I need a thank you, Mark, and thank you, Corey. So moving Mark, seconding Corey. So motion is on the floor. Be it resolved that the Environmental Sustainability Committee supports the request for funding from the Community Development Fund Green Initiatives Program for the Arch Hospice LED Lighting Phase 2 project and recommends that Council approve $3,250.30 in project funding. Any further discussion? All in favor? That is carried. All right. And lastly, I believe we do not have a mover and seconder for the Helping Hands application, in which case we cannot table it for vote. Appears to be right. All right. Thank you there. Moving on, the last item I believe on our agenda is Emily's staff report.
Yep. Okay. Just pulling this up here. Can everyone see it? Is it on the screen still?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so just a couple of updates for everyone. The terms of reference, this is going to be delayed for our November meeting. Lots of things on the go right now. So in support of making this meeting efficient, the draft with the revisions from our latest discussions will be circulated via email for feedback. The corporate electric vehicle charging costing study, that's currently out for RFP. We've had quite a bit of interest from prospective vendors, and that closes October 22nd. So that will be really great to help us with council's goal in the infrastructure required for our light duty fleet conversion to electric vehicles. The Transit Depot Solar Project, this is still a work in progress. Things are moving again as it pertains to the connection impact assessment. So that's great to see. Same with the John Rhodes roof replacement, a variety of different retrofits underway as part of that one as well, including both interior and exterior LED lighting and a heat recovery project over the next few years. Phase 2 of the city's involvement in developing a homegrown retrofit program. So specifically, the program design is underway, hoping to wrap that up in April of 2026, working in partnership with the PUC and your neighborhood credit union and the consultants, Dunsky Energy and Climate. Working on our conservation and demand management plan still. Ecological Corridor Project, again, as a reminder, this is a partnership between the City of Sault Ste. Marie, the Central Algoma Land Trust, and Algoma Highlands Conservancy, Garden River First Nation. A bunch of stakeholders came out in August, and we did some fieldwork assessment training with Ontario Nature. You may have seen a bunch of people frolicking around some of our green spaces in Sault Ste. Marie. It was really great to have the three partners working together on this. We'll be holding our next forum in November, December, and the project will be wrapping up by the end of December. And this is really seeking to create that ecological corridor within our region, specifically from the St. Mary's River to the southern part of the Mississauga. Again, just for context, for our newcomer, Sault Ste. Marie and Garden River region are one of 14 ecological corridor priority areas identified by Parks Canada. So we're working in partnership on that project with Ontario Nature, a nonprofit in Toronto, as well as the Algoma Highlands Conservancy and Garden River First Nation. The Building to Net Zero project is still underway. We have some final deliverables completed, including the business case and the draft green development guidelines. These will be voluntary, but we'll be bringing these forward for consultation with stakeholders. The project's set to complete in mid-2027, so we're a bit of a ways out still, but it's exciting for progress as we see more growth and development across the province and the country, trying to keep in mind to try to build better than business as usual. And then I kept this here. I don't know if there's any updates on this. We can table that letter update to the next meeting, Donna.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So that's it on my end. I don't know if there's any questions. Happy to clarify some of the things. I gotta stop sharing so I can see people. Hopefully that's okay.
Thank you. Anybody with questions for Emily about her report or anything that wasn't perhaps not on her report that you're curious about? I'm seeing nothing. I'll ask a question, and it's probably not necessarily to Emily, but Councillor Gardy is here, so I'll take the opportunity. Can
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Can you speak to or between you and Emily? So budget time is coming up for council. You know, our Green Initiatives Fund is certainly would appear to be close to well used, if not well used, by the time we get our last applications in. We'll see where it all goes. But can you speak to the thinking around budget and what the intention is to support or drive the climate agenda forward. We know that, and this was in our letter that we sent back in July to the mayor and council, asking, we know that we're not, as a community, the city is not accomplishing its greenhouse gas reduction goals, which are going to lead to the net zero by 2050. Anything you want to share with us or share with the community around where the movement is going, where the thinking is going? Is there a way that we can be participative in this budget process? Could there be more money available in the Green Initiatives Fund starting next year? I'll stop there.
Perfect.
I think
Em, you want me to start, or would you like to proceed?
you can start and I'll jump in if you like. Whatever
yeah,
you
sure.
prefer.
No, I'll start, and you're much more informed than I. So admittedly, I think Em would concur that though the intentions have been there, the effort and the results haven't been to the degree that we'd hope them to be, organizationally wide, quite frankly. I think you can imagine that this year is going to be a very tough budget year writ large, due to the pressures that the community is facing, with layoffs potentially and the rest. So I wouldn't be telling you the truth if I said that there would be much in the way of additional funds to be allocated to this group, though I stand to be corrected. Through Emily's efforts and this committee's, we've tried to ensure that departments, as they look at their ongoing efforts as it relates to their departments, that they use the lens of sustainability and the goals that the organization has, and to capitalize on any efforts that they can to help reach those goals. But there's still a lot of work to do. So, Donna, I didn't address your question probably very succinctly, but in terms of specifically any additional resources as they relate to this group, I think it might be a tough year to see those increased. That being said, I don't think there's anything that should preclude. Actually, I think it may very well be a good idea if you, as the chair, were to write another letter as a reminder to council that as they deliberate the budget, that any efforts that can be made to enhance our efforts that relate to climate change, sustainability, our goals as a community, be front of mind as much as possible. So that's what I have to say about that. I will turn things over to Emily right now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Andre, I'll get to you in a sec after Emily weighs in here. Thank you, Corey.
Sure. So the budget will be coming out for deliberation with City Council December 8th and 9th. I believe there'll be some public consultation in advance to that. Dates and times, I'm not exactly sure, but typically the city's communications department does share that with the public. We have, as staff, have been informed that this is going to be a year of many asks and lots of decisions. From a sustainability standpoint, we do have the climate lens on council reports now. It is voluntary, but it's a good starting point for staff to bring anything forward to start considering that. And I do get consultations quite a bit, specifically from the CDES department, for projects and reports coming to council to bring that climate impact. So we are starting to see a bit more of that. The city's facility asset management plan went to council, and was happy to see within that embedded in its KPIs was the implementation of deep energy retrofits, which were identified in our deep energy retrofit audits that were approved at council in August of this year. So that was exciting to see. As it pertains to the Green Initiatives Fund, I've had a lot of interest over this quarter, more so than I've seen before, to the point where I actually thought we might have been in a situation where we didn't have enough money, but some applications didn't come in and people are, just crunched for time, etc. But we'll see. We'll see what our final quarter intake looks like. And I think that if we do get to that point where we're in a situation where we have more asks than funding, it's a good situation to be in. It means that the fund, awareness of the fund, which has been around since 2021, is growing. And perhaps that could lead to a 2026 ask for additional operational dollars for that fund than is right now. So I would encourage committee members to reach out to stakeholders, schools, nonprofits, grassroots organizations that to get those applications in, because the more demand that we have, the greater argument we have for that kind of an ask in future budgets. Budget asks for this year have been submitted already, but it doesn't hurt to start thinking for 2026 now.
Thanks, Emily. Andre?
Yeah, Corey, I think this is for you, and this is when I hear that, like budget, we actually save money by reducing our carbon, and in the way the transportation sector is a clean example. We are increasing our carbon footprint because we drive way more than we've ever done, and the reason we do that is because we keep building more roads, and we spend millions and millions of dollars on new roads to encourage driving. So you could save money by putting a moratorium on new road construction, right? And what we need in this city is what we call a transportation demand management plan, which is basically a plan to get people using appropriate modes of transportation, as opposed to doing what we're doing now. $1 million for a right-hand lane turn at Goulet Avenue. Come on. I could go on, but don't get me started. I just think that somebody needs to say to council, why are we spending money to burn more carbon? We should actually stop spending money to beat ourselves up and stop building more roads. That's my point. And active transportation, ask for $10,000 to open an active transportation corridor, and it's like, oh, we don't have the money. I said, give me a break. Anyways, I'm sorry. I just get excited when I hear that.
So
No, you don't. Can I comment
yeah,
on
of
it?
course. Yeah.
Andre, everybody, I think most people that are on this meeting know the passion that you have as it relates to different modes of transportation that don't necessarily have a very big or at all carbon footprint. I think you'd probably have to admit, going back, the last 10 years, I think we've made some great strides as it relates to multi-use paths and bike lanes in the community. I don't think that you're going to find a moratorium being put in place for the development of road infrastructure as it relates to vehicles. I think that'd be a tough sell community wide, but there's nothing to say that moving forward we can't try and commit more dollars to some of the efforts that we've tried in the past. But you don't have to apologize for those comments. I know how you feel, and the community's benefits from having a passionate advocate such as yourself, and that's how I can address your concern. Thanks.
Whoa, did we open a can of worms here?
Well, yeah, don't get me going, but yeah.
No, Andre, you got
it. Anyways, thank you, Corey. I know you're on our side. I appreciate what you're doing. I just think that until you get out of your car, you'll see a different world that people see. I see a very different world than most people, and I just shake my head at the millions and millions and millions of dollars we spend to make driving easy. All right, and that's why people drive, because it's easy. and then you have a free place to park. God forbid, don't
But-
forget to go to parking.
And I'm going to address one more, and I'm going to say one more thing, Donna, and then Andre and I can have this conversation offline at another time. But
All right,
Andre,
thank
we
you.
to the chagrin of many in the community, we have made driving a little bit more, I don't want to say difficult, but we've tried to slow down speeds. We've narrowed roads. We've, put some different traffic calming efforts in place that the community just hasn't seen in over the course of its history. So I think we're getting the message. I don't think things are going to change, immediately. I think you appreciate that, but I think there are some really good advocates in the planning department, Emily, of course, within the organization, who are trying to move the community to a place where we need to be. And I'm happy of the efforts of the last few councils, and I'm looking forward to more leadership around that table from everybody moving forward. I won't say anything else. And Andre, if you want to email me, and we'll start a conversation.
Thank you, Councillor Gardy. All right, anybody else have any comments around this topic that I started?
Yeah, thanks,
before-
Donna. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I know you. No. Hey, look, these are things that need to be talked about, and we're having frank and open conversation about them. That's what we're here to do. As you as a counselor, Emily as a staff person, the rest of us as people who are passionate about the environment and making things better. And I mean, it's complex. It's complex. I won't keep going either, because it just, what Andre's talking about and you're talking about and Emily talking about, they're all complex, they're layered, they're medium or short term, medium term, longer term. There's so many layers to it. And it gets me thinking about other ideas. However, anyone else want to add anything in here before
Anybody else does that, just because I have to go in
Yeah.
a minute. But Donna, can I just ask a question, Emily?
Of course.
This question, I should have the answer to this, but I don't. So I'm going to ask you. If this group were considering asking for some more funds, right? Is there an opportunity for a group such as this to have a delegation at City Council as part of those budget deliberations? Are we not on the list of groups that would be able to do such a thing? I should know, but I don't, admittedly.
Well, I've never seen a committee like ACAP, like the Arts and Culture, or Economic Development or Tourism Sault Ste. Marie go to council with that kind of a request, because this would fall under an existing line item that's operational. I would think it would come from an internal staff, like it would come from me putting in that I forget the word. It's like a top-up request to an existing line item from an operational standpoint. So that's my understanding. Could something like that be corroborated with a delegation? I'm not sure, but I can certainly look into it.
Yeah, and I just think, like I mentioned before, and maybe I'm off base here, but I think if Donna, as the chair of this group, could encapsulate, any asks or encouragement as it relates to budget preparation, I think it could go some way. And I think whenever we have the opportunity to remind my colleagues and the organization at large of the importance of these environmental initiatives that we're proponents and advocates of, that we do that by whatever means and whatever ways we can. And for sure, I'll stop talking.
No, that's good. Thanks for suggesting we write another letter. We will do that. I will do that. We will do that. Moving along, I think we're moving along here now. Emily, our next meeting is November 4th at 4 p.m., correct?
Correct.
That's what I have in my calendar. So if you don't already have, oh no, I think you probably all already have that in your calendar. So nothing further. Looking for a mover and a seconder to adjourn our meeting today. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Mark. So be it resolved that this committee now adjourn. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. If we don't see you before, we'll see you in November. Ciao.